Okay, everybody. All right. Today is Wednesday, January 29th, 2025. That's right, 2025, the year of our Lord. Yes, we're back. Amazing Grace Sports Network on a Sports Wednesday here. I am reaching for my prayer book. No, I'm not reaching to scratch my leg. I'm reaching for my prayer book. And I have it here. Yes, I have it right here. Prayers for Victory in Spiritual Warfare. And I read it every Wednesday and every Saturday. And it being Wednesday, that means it gets read. Now, we just finished up the chapter on receiving the power of the Holy Spirit. And we are going to chapter 2, maintaining a spiritual perspective. Yes, that's what it is. And in this, we are going to start. Now, it starts like this. It starts out putting on the belt of truth, then putting on the breastplate of righteousness, then putting on the shoes of peace, taking up the shield of truth, putting on the helmet of salvation, and taking up the sword of the Spirit, and then it has victory. So we are now about to put on the belt of truth. Let's go. Dear Lord, your words tell me where I am spiritually. Even when we were dead in our transgressions, God made us alive together with Christ. By grace, you have been saved and raised up with him and seated us with him in the heavenly places in Christ Jesus. I am seated with you in the heavenly places. That means your authority and power have been made available to me through the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. When Christ disarmed the rulers and authorities, he made public display of them, having triumphed over them through him. You have already secured my victory. Help me to remember this when I feel attacked or defeated. I am not fighting for victory, Lord. I am fighting from victory. In Christ's name, amen. And I think that means we already have the victory. And now what we have to do is fight knowing that we have the victory and that, well, um, we have the power. So we have the power. Let me just get this centered. Okay, I think we're ready to rock and roll today. What do we got? Da 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 da. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do
Happy birthday, all. Happy
birthdays.
birthday, all.
Happy birthday to you. On Wednesdays. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I can't wait till we're back together again. Happy birthday to you. On Wednesdays, we do birthdays. It's kind of like we do birthdays for the whole week. Start at Monday and work our way down to Friday, including the day that we're doing, which is today, which is Wednesday, 129, 2025. 2025. Well, birthdays. What do we have for birthdays? Let me see here. Let me see if you recognize this guy. Yeah, well, if you do, that is Wayne Douglas Gretzky. He was born on January 26th, and he was born and raised in Brantford, Ontario. Now, Gretzky, I knew I was going to get this name because you really have to pull it hard. Gretzky played 20 seasons in the National Hockey League from 1979 to 1999. And he was nicknamed the Great One because Gretzky is the leading career goal scorer and assist producer and point scorer in NHL history. He is the only player to total over 200 points in a season, a feat he accomplished 4 times. Gretzky captured 9 Hart trophies as the most valuable player. He captured 10 Art Ross trophies for the most points in the season. He captured 2 Conn Smythe trophies as the playoff MVP and 5 Lester B. Pearson awards. Well, now they'll call it the Ted Lindsay Award for the most outstanding player as judged by his peers. He was a Stanley Cup champion 4 times. He led the league in goal scoring 5 times and in assists 16 times. At the time of his retirement in 1999, Wayne Gretzky held 61 National Hockey League records, 40 of them regular season records, 15 of them playoff records, and 6 of them were all-star records. Now, yeah, that guy there put the Oilers, Edmonton Oilers, on the map when they were nobody. They were nobodies. Nobody knew who they were, nor did they care until Wayne Gretzky showed up and put them on the map, won 4 championships with them, and they called him the Great One for a reason. And it was because he was the Great One. Alexander Ovechkin is closing in on one of his records. I'm not sure what it is. It was in the news. But if you guys remember what it is, and these things, they keep changing. And records are meant to be broken because once you have a record in front of you, um, that gives a person the impetus to to be as good as that or better, and more than likely to better it. That is his goal right there. And since he can sit it in front of him, he has something to work toward. This is sort of like when Buster Douglas had a picture of Mike Tyson in front of him. I don't know how many times a day he trained with the picture of Mike Tyson in front of him. He was shooting for Mike Tyson long before Mike Tyson even knew he existed. Who is this Buster Douglas? He probably said to Don King, "What are you bringing this bum to me for?" "Oh, well, it's a payday. I'll take it." "Okay, yeah, sure. Sounds like a good idea." But Buster Douglas had Mike Tyson in front of him for over a year. He had been training, even though he was fighting other boxers. He was training to fight Mike Tyson, and that's what a record does. So records are meant to be broken. Next on our list. Next on our list, let's see. Now, this guy is well known. Well, not really. Okay. Um, he's well known to New England Patriot fans. Okay. Well, not really. Okay, really, he's not. But this guy was a 2 time Super Bowl champion. So, for you New England Patriots fans who want to know your stuff, who think you know your stuff, that there is Anthony Devon Pleasant, who was born on January 27th. Okay. Pleasant was selected by the Cleveland Browns in the 3rd round of the 1990 NFL draft. Well, they didn't think too much of him, but Anthony Pleasant, for playing the defensive line, lasted 14 NFL seasons. That's right. I'm sure there was plenty of plays that were picked in front of him on defense that did not last that long. So it doesn't matter where you're drafted. It's about how long you've lasted. That's right. Not where you were drafted, how long you lasted. And Anthony Pleasant, playing on the defensive line, lasted 14 NFL seasons from 1990 to 2004. Now, Pleasant spent the last 3 years of his career with the New England Patriots, and he won 2 Super Bowls with the team. That's right. Super Bowl 36 and Super Bowl 38. And he retired after the following. Anthony Pleasant, got to give hats off to a guy who lasted 14 years in the NFL, okay, on the defensive line. And he was a heck of a player. He was a heck of a player. And I'm glad he got out. He did some coaching after that. And we here in New England really respect you for what you did. Solidified the line. A lot of people got more credit than you, Anthony Pleasant, but you held it down and made it happen. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. From the New England area, thanks you from the bottom of their heart because before you, um, there was no championships. Well, before Tom Brady, too. Yeah, we can mix you guys in the same conversation because, yeah, the New England Patriots are on the same team. And speaking of which, the New England Patriots, I hate to say that we kind of feature them or that we're biased or that we're partial, even partial. They were partial to the New England Patriots, but Stephen Gostkowski, yes, Stephen Gostkowski, he's another January baby of this week, we had the 26th with Wayne Gretzky, uh, January 27th with uh, Anthony Pleasant, and now January 28th, we have Stephen Carroll Gostkowski of the New England Patriots, nicknamed the Beaver. And he was not nicknamed the Beaver because of that series, Leave It to Beaver. He was nicknamed the Beaver because he got, well, two of his teeth knocked out, the front two teeth. You know, the ones that right at the at the top. You know, not the bottom ones, but the top ones, right in the front there. Yeah, those are knocked out, and well, he had two replacement teeth, and they were a little bit large, and so he was called the Beaver. Now, Goskowski was born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and he grew up in Madison, Mississippi. Goskowski was drafted in the fourth round by the New England Patriots. Fourth round. Well, it's not when you were drafted, it's how long you lasted. And he played for 15 seasons in the NFL, which I think he should have been able to play for more because, well, he just kicked the ball. I mean, it's not like he got tackled, not like he got battered around by offensive linemen or dragged down by defensive linemen. You know, it's a running back. Um, but he played 14 seasons. What happened was he had some, um, I believe it was hip injuries, and that ended his career. But Goskowski, Goskowski, wow, this guy, he was good. Stephen Goskowski is the New England Patriots all-time scorer, period. More than Adam Vinatieri, more than uh, Tom Brady, period. Goskowski led the league in scoring 5 times during his career, including 4 consecutive from 2012 to 2015. Goskowski is the first post-merger player to lead the NFL in scoring for more than 2 consecutive seasons. Goskowski also holds the NFL record for consecutive extra points and was named to 4 Pro Bowls and was a 2-time first-team All-Pro. And, well, you got to throw this in if he's a Patriot. He was a 3-time Super Bowl champion. That's him, Stephen Goskowski. And he replaced a very famous guy here, Adam Vinatieri, who won the first 3 Super Bowls. And of course, Vinatieri also won the Snow Bowl with the Oakland Raiders. I don't know if anybody really, saw the ball go through the upright, but they assumed it did, and that's all that counted. Sorry, Oakland Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, or whatever, Los Angeles, whatever you want to become in the future. That's the way the snow melts. Okay, that's a bad joke. But we move on from there. Next on this list here of January birthdays of this week, we have this guy. On January 31st, Jack Roosevelt Robinson, aka Jackie Robinson, was born in Cairo, Georgia. Now, Robinson's family moved to Pasadena, California, a year after he was born. That was in 1920. And he attended school in Pasadena from elementary, well, all the way throughout. And at the Murr Tech Vocational High School, Robinson lettered in 4 sports. Gee, I just lettered in one. He lettered in 4. This guy was good. He lettered in 4 sports: baseball, basketball, football, and track and field. He played shortstop and catcher on the baseball team, quarterback on the football team. He played guard on the basketball team, and he won awards in the broad jump. Yeah. So, wow. With the track team, of course, he won the awards with the broad jump and the track on the track team. So, quite an athlete. More athletes than I think. Well, most of us are. But he wasn't done there. No, guys like this, they just have to keep going and showing how much of a stud they are. So he enrolled in the University of California at Los Angeles, also known as UCLA, where Robinson became the school's first athlete to win varsity letters in 4 sports, just like he did in high school: baseball, basketball, football, and track. His 1939 football team went undefeated And Robinson finished the season with 12.2 yards per carry. 12.2 yards per carry. That's like, well, if we need a first down, we'll just hand it off to Jackie. Not a bad safety blanket to go to, not a bad, not a bad, you can throw this life raft out, that's gonna float. I'm I'm trying to make an equivalent. What I mean is that it's almost like automatic. Um, uh, Jim Brown didn't do that in college, and nobody averages. Well, actually, maybe they have, but I know this much. Okay, that 12.2 yards per carry is the UCLA record for the highest rushing yards per carry in the season. So maybe somebody has bested that, and some other. I don't know how they do it. Not as a running back, not because he was a running back and he was a punt returner, but we're talking about just running back. He was averaging 12.2 yards per carry as a running back. Okay. Well, after UCLA, um, Robinson was playing semi-pro football, and World War II erupted. And with World War II, he became a serviceman and an officer. And after his honorable discharge from World War II, Robinson signed with the Kansas City Monarchs of the Negro Baseball Leagues. He wasn't satisfied with that. He said there were better things ahead for him. Um, and he began going to tryouts. He went to a couple of tryouts, one with the Red Sox, another one, I don't remember which one that was, but he went to a couple of tryouts and he caught the eye of a general manager named Branch Rickey of the Brooklyn Dodgers. And Robinson began to engage in secret talks with Rickey about joining Major League Baseball. Now, many of you going like, "What are you talking about? Like secret talks?" I mean, you sign these kids, you bring them in, you get them going. Well, that wasn't the way it was back in the '40s. Baseball was a segregated game. There was a Negro League, which was a Black American League, and then it was the Major League, which was the White American League. White players played in the White League, and Black players played in the Negro Leagues. I don't know if that did anything well for any of them, but that's the way that they were going at that time because I'll tell you the reason why. There was still segregation in the South. That's right. There was still segregated facilities, bathrooms, restaurants, bus stations, train stations. They were all segregated. Black. It was segregated schools, so whites did not mix with blacks until after dark. Okay, after dark, anything could happen, but during the daytime, um, you just didn't. You just no, just they had lost the war. Okay, and yeah, the Democrats had lost the war. They had lost the war, and this was segregation was a Democrat thing. So this is what they did, and so when Branch Rickey is thinking about bringing Jackie Robinson into Major League Baseball, it's mostly segregated because it's segregated because most of the players in Major League Baseball are from the South. Yes, I guess I had to make my point somehow. There we go. Most of the players in Major League Baseball, white players, were from the South, and they were used to segregation. Supposedly, I'm sure they made a couple of exceptions in a lot of different cases, but you know, everyone tries to make sure that someone toes the line. They make a rule and they say you have to behave it if you want to be a good white American. We see that now, where black people are told if you want to be a good black American, you have to not like white people. So it just goes to show, no matter how far we progress as far as years, human beings have known to be idiots. They can't help themselves. Yes, indeed. Um, Now we have to be black and the black, and reject everything white. When white people were doing it, we called them racist. Now we call it black pride. Doesn't make any difference. You're still being an idiot. But I digress. And let me get back to Jackie Robinson and his birthday. Okay. Okay. Now Jackie, he was engaging in secret talks with Branch Rickey, and lo and behold, he signs on. And November 1st, 1947, he signs a contract to become a Brooklyn Dodger. Now, if you're looking at this picture, you can see that he's wearing a Montreal uniform on. Well, that's because Montreal was their minor league club, the Montreal Royals. And you can see a Jackie Robinson who looks quite happy, quite happy. Yeah, he had a good time in Montreal. He played there 1 year. He was there 1 year, had an outstanding year. And the very next season, they called him up to the big leagues. That was 1947. So he signed November 1, 1945. He spent a year in the minor leagues in 1946. And on April 15th, 1947, Jack Roosevelt Robinson made his major league debut at Ebbets Field and became the first player since 1884 in Moses Fleetwood to openly break the Major League Baseball color line. And baby, he did it in a big way. I think they went to the World Series the very first year that he was there, 1947, against the Yankees. He stole home, stole second. He did so many things. He had a great year, and he had a better year after that, 1948, and the better year after that in 1949. But he did not win the World Series for a couple of years. Now, he enjoyed an illustrious year. He was an illustrious career. He was a six-time All-Star. He was a World Series champion. He was Rookie of the Year in 1947. As I said, he had a great year. He was the National League batting champion in 1949. He won the National League MVP award in that same year. He was the National League stolen base leader twice, and he is a member of the Major League Baseball All-Century team. Jackie Robinson lit it up. Um, and, you know, the guy, uh, when you're the only something in the league or whatever, the only Italian in the Irish league, the only black in the white league, maybe that. And you had some people that did not like him. You had people that did like him. But I'll tell you one thing, okay? The people of New York, okay? I went out with a friend of mine named Bruce, and he's from New York, and he grew up in the Dodger era of the New York, the Brooklyn Dodgers when they had Sandy Koufax. Well, Sandy Koufax was there, but he was not playing. Okay, Don Newcomb. Okay, Jackie Robinson, um, um, and a bunch of players. Pee Wee Reese, uh, Duke Snyder. He grew up in that era, and to see these guys' eyes warm over, I tell you, to see the face get young again and their eyes moisten, talking about remembering Jackie Robinson in those days. He made everybody in New York proud. Um, I think a lot of people who thought they wouldn't like him grew to like him, and because he was that guy. Okay, he was a leader. He was a leader and a pioneer. And Jackie Robinson opened the door for all the black baseball players to enter the major leagues. Robinson's just not an inspiration to black players. He's an inspiration to every American to be courageous and to persevere. Jackie Robinson was a deeply religious man. He never gave up and he never surrendered. He is the epitome of the American dream. Happy birthday. And remembers Jackie Robinson. Whew. Well, that got me emotional. Did it get you emotional? Yeah, because Jackie Robinson, he went on after that. He became a political figure and a business figure. He did very well in both, and he survived by his children, and his wife survived him. And they carried on his legacy for a long period of time. He still remembered his number 42 is retired. Yeah, permanently retired in baseball, all teams. I mean, you know, Gotta say, he made an impact. Now, our thumbnail today for Wednesday, January 29th, 2025, was this: the Miami Vice, or the new Miami Vice, featuring Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler. Now, Jimmy Butler's in the news, and it's always for the wrong things. Butler was suspended for the third time this season. Now, the first time was for 2 games. The second time was for 7 games. And this time, it is for an indefinite amount of time, with the least of it being 5 games. Walker was suspended for walking out on the team during a practice session in which he was told he would not be starting the game. He would come off the bench to enter the game. And that didn't suit him very well. So he left practice. Walker's paycheck is about $500,000 per game, meaning he lost 3.5 million for the 7 games already that he's been suspended. Um, Jimmy Walker's Jim, wait a minute. Jimmy Butler. I'm saying Jimmy Walker. Jimmy Butler, okay, makes about $49 million a year. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know too many people who do know what that looks like, but I know there are people that do know what it looks like. But he's making $40 million a year, and from what I believe, he stands to make 52 million next season. Now, the basis of all this contentiousness that's going on between Miami and Butler is that Butler wants more. You said more? Yeah, he wants more. He wants them to renegotiate his contract and to tack on years to it. Uh-huh. Okay. Does he deserve more? Well, based upon his last 2 years where he can't stay healthy, the answer would be no. No. In the regular season, in the regular or private sector, Jimmy Butler would have been fined. More than that, he would have been fired. Okay. In the regular sector, he would be fired, but he's under contract, so he can't get fired, even though he has drastically underperformed his contract. Now, when he does feel the pinch of of money not coming in at $500,000 uh, a week, a game, I think there's 2 games a week, so he's missing $1 million a week. Yeah, when that starts feeling the pinch, more than likely, more than likely, he will undoubtedly scream racism and every other black emotional wine bag of victimhood at the top of his lungs. I guarantee you that if he does, ESPN and the other communist socialist outlets will leap to his defense. Not that they care about him, but because, well, it's news. And now the racist black intelligentsia, the ones who say that, well, we don't need anything but black people around, and the opportunistic black political grifters like Al Sharpton and Maxine Waters and whoever else can flap their gums, will run in there and of course, okay, the black activists. They're going to be leapfrogging over one another to support Jimmy Butler, hoping to get their names mentioned and a payoff in the end. Butler's going to give him a little kickback for, you know, plugging him and saying that, he's being discriminated against. And this is, slavery mentality by not paying a guy who won't play, guy who came back, played 3 games and averaged 10 points a game. You're paying $49 million for 10 points a game. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, okay. Let me go. um, Here's what I think. By placing himself in this situation, Jimmy Butler loses either way it goes. If the Heat do not trade and suspend him for the rest of the season, or if the Heat do not trade him and they suspend him for the rest of the season, he loses money, a lot of money, and more than likely, he will probably be bankrupted by it. Okay. If the Heat do trade him and another team gives him more, he will have learned nothing and will blow this money in the same manner, probably even faster. Even worse, Jimmy Butler will not be held accountable for this immaturity. His blowing of millions and millions and millions of dollars that he has already made. Because let's face it, yeah, there's a reason why he wants more money and he wants a longer contract. Okay. It's not because he's financially set. Okay. He's not financially set. And he fears and he knows his career is coming to an end. He's trying to get as much as he can now. They can say what they want, but if he was financially set, this would not be occurring. Not only will his behavior not be condemned, ok- for its immaturity and the blowing of millions of dollars, not only will this behavior not be condemned, if another team signs him, which he's hoping is going to happen, well, it's going to be held up to other black athletes as the way to behave. Yeah, just behave petulantly, walk out on teams, and don't show up, play halfway. It's going to be held up. This is the way you do it. Because whether he wants to be or not, Jimmy Butler is a role model. He is. And so the youth, not only the players in the league, but the youth will follow his lead. Now, let's just think about this. How many of them are going to be top end basketball players? How many of the youth that follow Jimmy Butler and idolize him are going to be top A level, top shelf basketball players like he is? I'm waiting. I'm going to tell you, not even half of 1%. I don't even know how to quantify that, but not even half of 1%. Okay, let one of these kids try one of these Jimmy Butler things in high school and walk out of practice. You know where they're going to be going when the coach doesn't let them back on? They're going to be going right down to the drug corner. There goes your opportunity. There goes everything that you had in your mind because you felt like the team was not treating you right, and this is the way you're going to behave in order to get what you want. Except you're not Jimmy Butler, so you're not going to get what you want. You're going to end up on the drug corner, and you're going to end up dead before 30. Now, if you tried this Jimmy Butler thing in college, that's it, Jimmy Walker again. It's Jimmy Butler. If you try this Jimmy Butler thing in college, you're going to end up out of college and at a dead end job, still living in victimhood, getting high, getting drunk every day, complaining that you weren't treated right when the fact is you didn't behave right. And if you try this at the pro level, but you're beneath the Jimmy Butlers of the world and level of athleticism, well, we'll never hear from you again. The team would just cut you. You'll be gone. Heck, if you tried this at UPS, okay, if you walked out of a UPS meeting, you would not be allowed back. You know that little card that you put in front of the sensor and to let you in? That thing would be stripped. They would contact security office immediately and say, hey, okay, cancel that guy's card. So you're not going to be allowed back. You're going to be saying hello to the unemployment line. And that's the reason why I'm against it. So let me get myself on camera so you can see me. Okay? I'm against it. Not because I have anything personally against Jimmy Butler. Even as a Celtics fan, I think the guy, I think the guy's been one of the most clutch players I've ever seen. I think the guy's played through pain better than almost any play I've seen uh, in the last 10, 15 years. Definitely much better than LeBron and the rest of these guys playing through pain. Jimmy Butler guts through pain and he gets it done. He just doesn't grimace, he gets it done. Unbelievable, fantastic. But Jimmy, I am hoping that you don't get it. And I know you're going to take this with sour grapes. Let me put it the way that you're going to understand. More so, I hope they suspend you for the rest of the season. Okay? Now, there's going to be a lot of people out there who saying, well, I don't like black people or black athletes or some other stupid emotional idiocy that's been programmed in their brain. They're going to blame it on me. No, Reason why I'm saying that, Mr. Butler, that if you are suspended for the rest of the season, the youth will see they need to step up and bring their best. Okay? There will be no shortcuts. No one can rest on their laurels, which is what you're trying to do right here. You can't rest on your laurels. I know there's a player out there who's been resting on his laurel for the past 4 years and hasn't played defense, but that's hurting the game, and that's why everything's going downhill as far as NBA ratings. But you can't rest on your laurels, okay? They're gonna have to step up and bring the best all the time, but they can do it. And this is the point I'm trying to push here. It can be done. You are not a victim. You can do this. You can do everything you want on whatever level you want, but you have to make up your mind you're going to do it. There's nothing going to be given to you, and it should not be given to you. Because when you get that, there's a decay. There's a decay in your integrity. There's a decay in your morality. There's something that's being fed, and it's not the good part of you. I'll tell you what, go back to the Miami Heat right now and apologize publicly. Publicly. Make a video conference right now and say, you know what? I've been an idiot. I've been a jerk. You know what? I'm getting paid X amount of money this year. And if they'll have me, I'll come back and I'll play at my highest level. Now, I know Pat Riley. He's a jerk. He's going to get as much as he can out of you. He's going to squeeze you like an orange. But I guarantee you, if you throw his name in there, he'll respect you. And that contract you're looking to get, well, you can turn adversity into success. You can turn something that looks like defeat into victory. But it's going to take mental acuity, mental gymnastics here to play a different role than you've been playing, that of a victim. Don't play the victim. Go make it happen. And I'm sure you're going to be rewarded. Well, that's my take on it. Okay. But if you want to stay out the rest of the season and they don't want to pay you, well, I'm hoping that the youth will learn from this, that they will learn that they must become mature. They must become mature in how they approach life, not spending money on a bunch of cars and a bunch of gold chains, getting high, getting drunk. Yes, drugs are rampant still in the NBA. That's right. Players are smoking weed and drugs are the devil. You guys are setting a terrible example for the most part. All of you. Well, not all of you. I'm sorry. That's- a lot of you are setting a terrible example for the youth. And you're going to have to step up and do better. Because the thing about victimhood is that mommy's not going to be there all the time to incorrectly protect you from the rest of the mean world. Okay? Protect you from the beating that you should get. You should get a beating. Well, this is the beating, in a sense. To get your head right, to go at it a different way, to use your brains, not just in victimhood, but to use your brains to get even more, endear yourself even more to the American public. You can do it, Jimmy. I'm hoping you get it done. Now, if you don't, I'm hoping that you will be an example to hundreds, if not thousands, of young athletes, be they white, black, Asian, or Hispanic, not to put themselves in the position that you have put yourself. Well, with that, I'm out of here. I'm sure I made enough people mad today. I'm sure I made enough people upset because, well, I just can't ride with everybody else. I just can't get in the car with you. Okay? I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm going to tell you spiritually the truth. That if you get what you want all the time, it feeds the wrong thing inside of you. Sometimes you have to be humbled in order to get better. We'll see what happens. And with that, Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got. As George Foreman said to Muhammad Ali, when Ali said, "Is that all you got, George?" George says, "Yeah, I think that's about all I got." Have a happy Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. See you on Saturday. Call us, me and Kevin. Call us, WEZE Radio, 844-249-5247. That's 844-249-5247. Call us. We are going to be talking about, welcome back, Josh McDaniels. Welcome back, Mike Vrabel. Welcome back, Carter. Whoever you want to welcome back, we're going to say welcome back to. Welcome back, Jimmy Butler, if he comes back to the Miami Heat. But call us Saturday, 9 a.m. on WEZE AM 590, 844-249-5247. You can see us on Instagram. You can see us live on X. We'll be live on YouTube. And we will be live in the studio. Thank you very much. You guys have a very good day. Bye-bye.